Welcome back to Talking Pop Culture Live. And on today's live stream, we're going to talk about what are the greatest horror films of all time, from way back when to now. And I've brought some guests along, a couple of them today, official royalty guests. So we need to bow down to them. And we might bring in the first one. He got nominated for 2 of these awards. I'll let him celebrate and vast in his glory. We have MadSpidey.
Bow down, bitches.
So what were you nominated for, sir? Please explain.
Best new channel and best statue unboxing review, which don't know why I was nominated for that, but I was nominated for that, so I'm very humbled. Well, indeed.
Very good to hear, sir. And our next guest, he's representing AussieVerse. We have Mark Grod Watson. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you going, guys? I got nominated for nothing.
Join the club, brother. It's all good. We'll start our own nominations. Okay, and lastly, he is the comic book noob. He also got nominated for the best hair. We have, and I don't know what mask he's wearing. Simple sign.
So, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
So, what did you get nominated for, Jason? Was it Jason? Friday 13th, was it?
Yeah.
It's real lame. I got nominated for best hair. You know, that's why I watched it today. Yeah, what can I say?
That's why it's all.
And yes, late as usual. I like to be late.
Good to see you two on the same stream. It's been a while, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've all.
Which is why I was like, why did you bring Mark on first, you bastard?
I wanted to mix it up, royalty, non-royalty, royalty, non-royalty.
No, me and Matt did a show not long ago. I came on his show. It was Sunday night or something, wasn't it?
Shit, I can't
remember. We chatted about something. Yeah.
I did have a live show. Oh, shit, it would have been a good month ago now. So it's been a while since I've done live shows. But we're talking horror films. The greatest horror films. This is a discussion I think a lot of people would enjoy. Now I'm going to kick it off, and I'm going to say, I don't know your opinions. Nightmare on Elm Street, hands down, I feel, was probably my favorite. Always has been my favorite, purely because I think it was like the first horror series of films that I watched as a kid. My sister would tie me down and make me watch, and my mum would freak because I would never sleep at night because I was scared Freddy would come for me in my dreams. But yeah, I loved it. And it's like, I know a lot of people, back then, nowadays we've got DC versus Marvel. Back then it was Jason versus, Freddy Krueger. What was a better, Friday 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, what was a better series? But Spidey, what are your thoughts? What did you ever watch? I'm sure you watched Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I was, that's the thing, like I was a massive horror guy in my early movie sort of watching days. Not so much now. Like I haven't seen a lot of the newer stuff now. But definitely your Nightmare on Elm Street, your Friday the 13th, Halloween were pretty much the trilogy or Trinity, whatever way you want to sort of, Trinity is probably a better word. But obviously there were a lot of other sort of fan favorites, even B and C list movies and things like that were enjoyable, regardless of how corny or low budget they were. But they're probably the Trinity is probably the main three, even though people see Halloween and Friday the 13th as more slasher movies, not technically horror movies. I still classify them as horror movies.
Yeah. Well, what slasher films, horror movies? Just, I know I'm going to sound like an idiot. What's the difference? One's just constant stabbing.
Slasher's more, murder, chopping people up, that sort of stuff, whereas horror's more your monsters and, magical, mythical, supernatural, like that sort of stuff is more your horror sort of stuff. But
yeah, but at the same time, I was just going to say, like with slasher flicks, a lot of those characters are kind of supernatural. Like,
come back from the dead about 1 million times and all that sort of stuff. And
always go for, like, I always categorize movies is like you're going into a blockbusters. You have your horror section and you have your action section. Science fiction. Where would you find a Friday the 13th?
Yeah, so that'd still be in the horror section. That's correct.
Exactly.
For you young fans out there, you wouldn't know what we're talking about.
Well, they haven't rebooted Friday the 13th, have they? They've rebooted.
Yeah, once.
Halloween, they've done.
They rebooted.
Yeah, they even brought back Jamie Lee Curtis for the newer ones.
Wait, when did they reboot Friday the 13th?
Oh, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Who made it?
It had dude from Supernatural in it, Sam.
Oh,
really? Yeah, Jared Padalecki.
Yeah.
Did they only make a one-shot film? I'm assuming because
it's technically all three of the originals in one movie. Because at the start he has at the start it's his mother, and about halfway through it he just has the bag over his head, and then the last third he finds the hockey mask. So essentially, it's supposed to be all three movies in one. First three movies in one. It was really good.
I haven't watched a horror. Honestly, I've not watched a horror film. I reckon I don't even know how long ago this was, and I'm guessing it's a slasher. Not a Freddy vs. Jason was probably the last, or maybe no, the new Child's Play with what's her name in it? What's her name again?
Yeah, so I haven't seen any of the newer ones.
Yeah, it's the new Child's Play. It's like more built around the smartphone kind of technology. It was all right.
It's a reinterpretation for today's era, in other words.
2009, the new Friday the 13th. So it's not new, but they redid it. Yeah, and that's the one that you were saying, MadSpidey. The Halloweens, there's two of them. I can't remember the first one, but then there's Halloween Kills, and I watched that, and it was horrible. But the first one of those two, they both got Jamie Lee in it, and there's supposed to be a third one coming out this year.
Didn't Rob Zombie?
Yeah, Rob Zombie did one before that. Yeah, I was going to say.
I watched the Rob Zombie one. I watched the Rob Zombie one.
So there's been a couple of reiterations.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah. So with Nightmare on Elm Street, like, I think as a kid, that was my fondest memory. Like, that was the most memorable character for me because I didn't really watch the other ones until later. So I became a horror fan when the movie Scream came out. Like, I wanted to be like Randy, the movie horror expert. So I went to the video store and hired all the classics and, caught up then. And some of them were hard to watch. By the time you got to, when Scream came out, some of those old school ones, that was slow.
Yeah.
So, but one of my favorite Nightmare movies is I loved New Nightmare when that came out. Because that was kind of like a similar concept to Scream where it was kind of trying to bring it into reality. I thought it was great.
What's the New Nightmare? Is that the one where he had all the spikes on his face?
Isn't that Hellraiser?
No,
New Nightmare is the one where they had the chick from the original Nightmare on Elm Street where she just plays herself, like as an actress. Yeah. And like in real life, she's having nightmares about Freddy.
Yeah, about the movie that she did.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. So they treated it like it's real life.
Yeah.
Robert
earliest
memory as himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because she goes and talks to him. But yeah, my earliest memory of a nightmare. I haven't had many nightmares in my life, but I remember my very first one had Freddy in it. It's scarred into my brain.
Yeah, it was all. It was kind of before its time, sort of thing. But the idea of he can chase you in your dreams that makes it that a little bit extra scary, doesn't it? Because you can't control your dreams, and you've got to sleep at some stage, and that's the whole thing. So yeah, well, for me, I was always a Friday the 13th fan. I always remembered when I was growing up as a kid, Friday the 13th, whenever it came the date, it was always on at like midnight or something like that on TV. And I used to stay up and watch it or videotape it because also too, being on it that late, it's not, it's the full movie and there's always a bit of, nudity in it. So as a young boy, you didn't get to see that too often.
That's when I used to remember Freddy. Okay, if anyone goes out of the 8 movies, what scene do you remember the most? It's when she's stuck underneath the waterbed, the naked girl.
Yep.
That's the one scene I remember most because, like you said, when you're a little kid, it's like they're the scenes you bloody remember. What horror movies have you guys watched lately that are any good? Because I haven't seen The Conjuring. I don't know what that's like.
I've watched a stack. In fact, I think horror movies now, because like I said, I got really into them when the whole Scream thing was out, and then got into slasher flicks and all that. And then for most of the rest of the years, I haven't really. It's not really a genre I watched a lot of, but recently I always enjoy horror movies, man. So I watched all the Conjuring movies with Sarah recently because she was like, they're one of her favorite series. Just recently, literally in the last week, I went and saw Nope at the cinemas. I don't know if that's really a horror, but I guess it's kind of a horror, but I didn't like it. I watched Hereditary the other night. Seen that one?
No.
No.
With Toni Collette.
No.
Well, that was. I thought it's very slow, but it's like it was pretty creepy. What was the other one?
You watched Black Phone, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw Black Phone at the cinemas. That was good. That was a
Black
good
Phone,
one.
that's the one with Ethan Hawke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about.
Yeah,
it's written by. What's his name? Hill. Joe Hill.
Joe Hill. Stephen King's
It's
son.
based on like a short. It's based on a short story of him. Yeah,
Did
so
you
it's about
watch
this
the-
guy.
Oh,
Sorry?
yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's about a guy who kidnaps all these kids, and they end up like the main kid in the movie gets kidnapped. He gets put in a room with a black phone, and the phone starts ringing, even though it's not plugged in and all that stuff. And people start talking to him through this phone that's not plugged in. Ooh, that's all I'll say. But yeah, sorry, Mark.
Well, I was going to say, have you watched the new Scream?
Yes, have you guys seen it?
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed it up until the end, and then I was like,
Did they try? They obviously try to twist it, and then
no, it was just obviously every Scream movie is the same. You know, people die, and then you find out who the killers are at the end. I didn't like the end. That's all I'm going to say.
Kind of like what the third one, where it was if anyone not seen it, it's
Son,
the
wasn't
Son or whatever it is.
yeah,
That was
The
a bad
Son.
reveal. Yeah.
The funny one, remember, I think it's the start of, can't remember the start of 3 or 4 where they, you know, at the start of all of them, they have like the scene where someone dies, and then they'll be like watching the movie, like they'll be watching the movie in the movie. At the start of 3 or 4, it happens like 4 times. like someone will die, and then it'll cut out like that people are watching the movie, and then someone in that movie watching the movie again. It's real clever. If that makes sense.
I haven't seen. I'm gonna say that later. So have you guys seen? I think it's called When a Stranger Calls, where he calls and he goes, "Have you checked the children?" Have you seen that?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. When a Stranger Calls? Watch. That's one I would highly recommend if you haven't seen. But the original, so they did remake it. I think the original is from the 80s. So it's a girl, she's babysitting at home, and this guy keeps calling and asking if she's checked the kids, and she's like, fuck off, creep. And then she goes and checks the kids and sees that they're dead. And then, yeah, man, it's. I remember watching that, and I was fucking scared when every time the phone rang, to be honest, because my sister used to make me watch all these horror movies, man. The Exorcist, that was fucking. Have you seen Exorcist Emily Rose?
No. Yeah.
That, fuck, because that's based on it. Was that based on a true story, Mark?
Well, they say based on true story. It's very slim, but yeah,
Loosely based.
Yeah, so I guess like a myth or whatever. So they base it on, but yeah, apparently, it's people swear that's sort of what happened. But yeah, that's scary.
Well, that's like Amityville Horror was based on.
Was that loosely based?
Was
that on true life as well.
All the Conjuring stuff is as well, because the Conjuring is actually about the two. What do you call them?
The ghost hunters,
like clairvoyant, whatever they are. So, like after I found that out, I like went on YouTube and started looking up, like the interviews and stuff with the real people that they're based on, and I was like, I don't know, is this real?
I think I just ruined the movies.
The Annabelle doll.
Yep.
No, I haven't seen that one. I've heard that's
one of the Conjuring movies as well. I'm pretty sure.
And the nun in it.
I wouldn't mind seeing the nun like that. That looks like freaky as fuck. But
yeah, she looks creepy.
What was the one where she comes out of TV?
That's
Ring.
That's the Ring.
That's the Ring. Yeah, I was going to say not Poltergeist, the Ring.
Yeah. And like we discussed this the other night. Simon and I were on one of the things, and that actually came up. You need to see the original Japanese ones, The Grudge and The Ring.
Yeah, I've
Because
seen The
yes,
Grudge.
yes,
Yeah.
the American ones are sort of scary, but they got nothing on the Japanese ones.
The Grudge trailer. I remember seeing the Japanese Grudge. Wait, is it Japanese? Yeah. The Grudge trailer alone. I never saw the movie, but the trailer alone scared the crap out of me. It was so freaky, man. That trailer with the kid in it and
The
stuff.
Grudge
I think
was
I've
the
got,
one
I think
where,
I've got them on DVD. I'll lend them to you.
Mate,
was the Grudge which
Blu-ray?
made that noise?
Yeah.
Was that the Grudge? But, it was that noise that you would hear, that sound.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it was the Grudge. Yeah.
So
I
one of my
watched that in
friends,
about 20 years.
one of my mates at work was telling me, so in Japan, there's a movie that it's kind of like Freddy versus Jason, right? But it's actually the Thing from The Ring versus the Thing from The Grudge against each other. It's like, what?
Wow.
Does that make sense?
I'd pay good money to watch that.
Nomronad says here, Sinister is my favorite new age horror.
Okay.
I
I watched
I have not seen that one.
the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix. I lost interest halfway through it. It was okay, but it just had nothing to it. It was just him just walking around, just slashing people. There was one funny moment. He's on the bus with the children, or teenagers, and he locks the bus, and then they all get on their phones and start recording. They go, and you can't do anything to us because this is on camera. He just looks at him and just goes, and just starts slashing them.
Yeah, I've seen the original one. The original one was really, really good.
Yeah.
Texas
Well, the original one was only done on like a $5,000 budget.
Yeah.
It was like done really low budget, but it's an absolute cult classic.
But a lot of that was like Blair Witch. Blair Witch was done on a fucking very low
first
budget.
You can't bring that stupid movie into this conversation.
Nah, man, the first Blair Witch at the time,
that was good.
Awesome, dude. It was awesome.
That was scary at the time.
We went on a
it
school
was, for
camp
sure.
just after that came out. We went on a school camp, Blair Witch, and I tell you now, after everyone saw it, fuck, were we all scared at camping? But we did the whole, one of the kids, because I was a little shit, of course. We set up the rocks around the tent, and then we did the sticks the next night. We're trying to scare him, but it didn't work because obviously. That was also, rumors were going around saying that it was based loosely on a true story, but I think that was just everyone saying that.
That was the hype because it was a handy cam movie, and then they're trying to make it as real as possible. Yeah.
What about the old Australian horror movie Wolf Creek? Like loosely based.
I still have not watched Wolf Creek.
I still haven't seen it. I've seen a bit of it. I've been there.
I can't remember it really.
Ethan Hawke is sinister. Did great.
I've met John Jarrett, and he did the voice for us. But that was about it.
Yeah, when I drove home from Perth, we stopped on the way home. I seen it, and I was like to the ex at the time, I was like, man, I'm stopping here because I want to check this area out, like where they got kidnapped and that, the tourists. Because it was the two tourists, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually been to Wolf Creek, but I've never actually seen the movie. Wolf Creek is creepy.
Yeah. See, one of my mates he was traveling just by himself. He was a farmer, and he broke down in that same area. And so so he had to camp there the night until the morning because it was at night.
Like
He's there, and then a car came rolling up, and it was some dude that came out and just started chatting to him. And he said he was shitting himself the whole time because he just watched Wolf Creek like a year ago. He goes, "Is this the dude?"
Yeah, well, Wolf Creek was actually based on Ivan Milat, who was actually a serial killer.
Yes.
Yeah, because the two Irish, was it Irish or English he kidnapped? Were they, I think, tourists? There's
two Irish or something. Yeah, it was something like that.
There was a couple that they could only prove, but he did heaps more, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they reckon he did over like
But they found. I'm pretty sure they found a dumping ground at some point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was like some state forest or something, sort of, like 100 k's away or something.
So that's kind of the similar sort of thing as we were talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that's loosely based off
Ivan Milat.
Hey?
No, it's Chainsaw he's talking about.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's loosely created off, I forgot, a serial killer in America.
It wasn't
not
Gacy,
Ted Bundy,
was it? I thought it was Gacy.
Gacy, that's it. Yeah. I was thinking of Gacy. Same.
Because he'd chop them up and put them in like fridges and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And he once wore someone's.
Oh, it might have been Ed Gein actually.
Ed Gein.
Yeah,
There we
Again,
go.
that's it. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Knew it was one
That's
of them.
it.
Yeah. All right, I've got the next round. Best vampire and best werewolf movie.
Best vampire was
Lost
Brad
Boys.
Pitt.
Favorite.
Lost
Brad
Boys.
Pitt.
What?
Which one did you say,
Brad
Simon?
Pitt?
Yeah,
I just
Brad
said
Pitt.
Lost Boys.
Was it Brad Pitt
Interview
interviewing
with the
Ryan,
vampire.
or was that Tom Cruise?
That,
It's
that
both.
was both. but-
Both.
Oh, it was both.
Yeah, I mean movie, not actor.
There are 27 movies that are based real events, and Scream is one of them. It's based on the Florida murders. There you go. What's going on, Cameron?
Lost Boys is definitely the best.
Yeah,
vampire.
Lost Boys. Yep, 100%.
So
It's the
Vampire, what about
coolest by
werewolf?
far.
What about
Yeah.
werewolf?
I'm not huge into werewolf movies, man.
Was it American Werewolf in Paris or something? What was that?
Well, there was
I
one in
remember-
Paris, and the original one was London.
Yeah, I've seen the
Yeah.
Paris one, I think, or was it London? I see one of them. That's probably
Paris
I
one
haven't
was the
seen-
later of the two.
Unless we include Teen Wolf, then it'd probably be that one.
Because I didn't like Underworld. I didn't really like those.
Underworld
films.
was awesome. I loved Underworld.
I was going to
It's
say
like
that
Kate
just
Beckinsale,
wanting to-
come on.
Yeah. I really love Wolfman and Tony Beltora, who does Wolf. That was really cool.
The original classic sort of style.
No, he
Yeah,
did one
yeah.
later on, didn't he? Didn't he do
Yeah,
one
he did
later
one
on?
later on. Yeah, because Anthony Hopkins is in it. He's his dad. And
Oh yeah, I remember that one now.
Hugo Weaving's chasing him or something like that. And yeah.
Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampire. Best werewolf is Cursed.
What was the one? Man, there was a vampire movie that had Bon Jovi in it. What was it? Simon, you know.
Yeah, I've got that on. It was I've got
Bon
that on DVD.
Jovi as the vampire.
Yeah,
And
Isn't that
we
just
drove around
Vampire
in-
Hunters?
Sorry?
Isn't it just Vampire Hunters? Do they have James Wood?
Something.
No, I think it's just called Vampires. I think it's John Carpenter's. I think it's John
Yeah,
Carpenter's
so it's related
Vampires.
to that series that who you were saying was in it.
James Woods.
Yeah, I feel like it's related to that series, but it's like just they did a whole series of B grade ones, and Bon Jovi drove around in a Jeep with a surfboard in the back or something like that and killed vampires.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing Nat. I'm guessing it's I could be wrong. I'm guessing it's you, Santiago. I've dropped the link there if you want to jump on, buddy. I think you can click on that link if I'm correct, and you can come and join in on the conversation, mate. Because I'm guessing you're a massive horror fan.
Just off topic for a sec, because a movie popped into my head that I freaking love, and I think there was only two of them. There might have been more, but the first two I really enjoyed was Jeepers Creepers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
how good was that?
Yes.
I'm glad Beck is not here because I took her in our early days of going out to the movies to see that. As quite often a lot of males will do the old, I'll take them to a creepy movie to get close, that sort of stuff.
And next thing you know,
she, every time I mention that movie, she'll go, "Don't you fucking dare go anywhere near with me with that crap." She absolutely hates it. Absolutely hates it.
So they brought out a third one, and there's a new one coming out this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember if I watched the third one or not. I can't remember. I went through many years. I went through probably over 10 years of just barely watching any movies. So I kind of have this section of my life where I watched heaps of movies, and then a big chunk where I watched nothing. So
Yeah, I got Jeepers Creepers from the back of the car. I remember I didn't go see that one in the cinemas. That was
well, there was another movie that Justin Long was in, and what was it called?
The Hills That Had Eyes? No, it wasn't.
No. It was it had a weird name, kind of like that, and like it was kind of like a horror comedy. Like it was a horror.
4.0.
No, the one like every time, like so many, like there was this old lady that kept vomiting maggots and shit, and she vomits it into the chick's mouth. Like everything just kept going into people's mouths.
Oh.
What?
I
Something...
know. I remember that scene. Now you said that.
And on the front cover, it's got the girl kind of like looking up and screaming, sort of thing.
Nah, mate. You know what? I'm thinking.
Did she have an eyeball in her mouth or something?
The wall.
Yeah,
front cover?
just all this gross stuff keeps happening, and just things end up in all the characters' mouths all the time. Hang on, I gotta find it.
Drag Me to Hell.
Was that Cat
Yes,
and Pete?
yes, that's one. Drag Me to Hell. Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, yeah. I think I might have watched that once when it first came out.
Is like the girl with the tattoo dragon that are they horrors or?
I don't think so. They're like thrillers or something, aren't they?
We could always
action thrillers.
you can always sort of do zombie movies, like Evil Dead's kind of. I love Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
What's the one where they lock themselves in the shopping center?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Mm.
Yeah.
Then there was
That
Shaun
was
of the Dead.
Snyder, wasn't it? Did Snyder do Dawn of the Dead?
No,
he did the Netflix thing that came out recently.
Yeah. That's
Dawn of the Dead was like Romero, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think
It was like the first one he'd done of the newer sort of ones. It's like his little comeback, and then there was a series.
really
of them.
good.
All right.
Was that the one
Fast
where they're on the
zombie or
rooftop?
slow zombie?
They're slow.
I like
Not
slow.
What is
No,
it?
I
Task
mean,
Force
like,
thing?
what do you prefer?
I
Was it
hate
Task
fast zombies. They're too scary.
What's the one with Brad Pitt where they're really quick?
Yeah.
Is that
Z,
Task Force
Z
thing?
Nation.
World War Z, was it?
World War
World War
Z
Z.
or
I haven't seen
whatever,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, nah,
but
they're
they should
too
be- they
quick,
should be-
man.
They should
28
be
days
slow
later, they were like that.
until you get within like 2 meters, then they can be quick. But they shouldn't be able to just run like they're like rotting corpses. Like what?
Yeah. Agreed.
On
Well, that's
speed.
like what's the one with Will Smith?
I
Legend.
Am Legend.
I Am
Yeah, I
Legend.
Am
Oh
Legend.
man, that movie's great. I love that movie. Doesn't
Me
he have to
too.
doesn't he have to kill his dog in it? Is that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
movie?
Yeah,
Because the dog
Oh.
turned.
the dog.
And that's,
Oh,
and that's why
man.
I didn't watch it because I
Can't
can't,
stop.
watch
stand
animals.
to watch.
I can't watch animals dying on screen. I can't do it.
No, it was like very emotional that scene.
It
That
was.
was actually a really good movie. That one I remember seeing in the cinemas and I fucking screamed. And I think the other one that made me scream in the cinema was Amityville Horror with the remake with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a part where they were making love, and it was just like out of nowhere, the girls like started hanging from the end of the bed because you're making love, and they're making love, so you're not expecting anything. You just it's just a fucking love scene, and the next minute, boom, this freaking thing, and you just everyone in the cinema screamed, including myself. So
Like a little bitch.
yeah, I can't. My anxiety, I can't watch horror movies now. Dead set, like
I
started
think that's
having
why
panic
they're
attacks.
fun though, because Sarah always gives me shit and thinks I get scared. It's more like the anticipation of getting scared gets me all like, oh crap. But then when it happens, like I've rarely jumped. Like actually, the other night in Hereditary, there was like a half jump. Like I don't think she felt it, but I did a little bit. But yeah, Hereditary is worth checking out just for the creep factor.
Cool. I got a movie. This is one that I used to like when I was younger as well. It came out in 1999. The Stir of Echoes. Kevin Bacon one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like
is
it.
that one where he's
I
digging the
do
hole?
vaguely remember that.
Yeah, in his whole house because he's
I
trying
don't
to
really
find the body.
remember. I remember seeing it. I don't really remember the story though.
It was
That's
really
another
good.
one. Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh, first one's
Yeah,
amazing.
see, I sort of struggle a bit. I never saw the remake. But don't get me wrong, like I love Stephen King stuff, but like as I said, the animal stuff, I know they come back and all that sort of stuff, but I always struggle watching movies
Like,
Well, she buries
with
her
animals die.
son to bring him back, isn't it? She buries her son, if I remember,
yes.
at the pet
At-
cemetery to bring him back.
At the end of the or
I
not
just
at the end,
I
but
just remember the
later
end,
in
like
first one.
he buries his wife at the end, right? And then she comes back, and that's like the end scene. She's got like the
Yeah.
knife, but like
Was there 2 or 3 of those? I can't
There was
remember.
two originals
Eddie Furlong
and
was
then
in-
one remake. As far
Eddie
Eddie
as I
Furlong
know.
was in the second one, yeah.
Mm.
Because that's the "Living on the Edge" song by Aerosmith.
Oh, was that from that movie? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember Eddie Furlong being in the video clip though.
Mm.
How many Freddy vs. Jasons did we get? Did we only get one?
Yeah, and he got
Yeah,
one.
just-
You know what I hate about those movies that are like versus movies? No, they can't just decide someone's going to win. And no one ever wins. It's like when they did Alien versus Predator, the whole slogan was Alien versus Predator. No matter who wins, we lose. It's like my ass, we lost. Like no one won and no one
Yeah.
lost. It's crap.
Because that was like Jason, with that Freddy vs. Jason cut his head off and Freddy winks at the end when he's walking off with his head.
With that
And it's
laugh, that perfect laugh.
It's like, wow. I remember when they did the was it the 7th one where they Rob England played himself like as the actor of Freddy, and then all of a
Dickhead.
sudden Freddy comes real.
That's New Nightmare, yeah.
Yeah, because that's I reckon if they redid
You're
that
an
series,
asshole.
I reckon it'd hold down. Well, if they haven't done a remake yet, what remakes would you like to see that you think they could maybe?
Thank you.
I don't say be better, but get close to. What remakes would you like to see?
That's the thing. Like most of the classic ones have all been done.
Yeah. I didn't like the remakes.
Good or
bit.
bad, they've been done.
didn't like
I
the-
know one. This is going to be a bit more of an offbeat one, a bit more of a funny one, and not everybody will know this movie. Ghoulies.
Is that the little leprechauns?
Yeah. No, it's little creatures, isn't it?
Yeah, little
Like
green things like that. Like I remember, like guy getting stabbed up the ass through the toilet
Speaking
bowl and
of-
all that sort of stuff. And
Speaking of leprechauns, Leprechaun was a horror movie.
yeah, Leprechaun. was a horror
Leprechaun
movie.
3, Back to the Hood.
Yeah, remake Tommy Knockers, but make it good because the
Oh, yeah,
original one
exactly
was
right.
crap. The
Oh,
original
no, it
one was
wasn't
only
Tommy
PG
Knockers.
and it was crap.
It was I didn't see Langoliers until later in life, and when I watched it, I was like, "This is ass, man!" Like it was so bad.
All the newer Stephen King stuff was crap. All the old original stuff was the best.
What was that? Was Stephen King? Did he do The Mist? Was that his?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that, except for the ending was a little bit,
Yeah, but they did a remake of that though. There's the original one and then there's the remake.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't realize. 'Cause
Okay.
it was Thomas Jane, I think, was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the remake.
Vampire movies. Stoker's Dracula.
That's the one with Keanu and
The Lost
Gary
Girl.
Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Day Shift. New on Netflix. It's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Interview
That's the
with
one with
Vampire
Snoop
King.
Dogg.
Oh, my boy Snoop in it. I have to watch that then. Snoop Dogg made a horror one. I did see that one. I can't remember what that was called. I just remember him being a
Starsky and Hutch.
No. It was he actually turns into a Rottweiler. He's from Howl and stuff. I can't remember what
Oh, I remember that.
I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I just because I remember at the cinema section, you had just that one wall for horrors, and it was always put right next to the adult naughty films. I don't know about your
dude.
videos.
So
Yeah.
you used to go up and get the horror movies, and then you could see the back covers of the adult section. Yeah, that was like the greatest trick in the book when you were a kid.
This is how we become horror movie fans.
Yeah, Video Easy. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Video Easy used to just walk in, go look at the naughty films. Oh, these are horror. But I remember that every time. It was when I used to walk into the movie shop, it was on the left. It had one wall, had adults, internationals, and the horror. There was like one wall for each. And then you had the big main back wall that had all your new releases, and then you had all the rows that had the weeklies. But the horror section was very small compared to like your action adventures and all that kind of stuff.
At my hometown, my little hometown, the dude that we only had one video store, but the dude that owned it was a massive horror fan. So we were blessed with like 2 massive racks of horror movies because he used to collect them basically for himself. It was just a dude that loved films, basically collected them for himself and just hiring them out.
Well, Film Age Studios, mate, if you want to jump on the stream, feel free. I'll throw the link in there. And if you got any recommendations, fire away, buddy.
Mm. I
What
would
about?
really.
No,
Oh.
go.
Oh, I was going to say, I would really like them to try and do Friday the 13th again because 2009 one wasn't bad. I wouldn't mind them to try and do it again with some good writing, some decent actors, and try to do a good Jason movie. But
I'm pretty sure also I heard ages ago they were supposed to do a Lost Boys sequel, but have it Lost Girls or something like that. Pretty sure I've heard.
They
So
did,
many sequels
they
were
did a
supposed to-
Lost Boys sequel that just featured the Frog Brothers.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
saw that, and it was about
That
like
was-
all the
yeah, it was
vampires
so-
were like extreme sports ones, like extreme
Mm.
sport, like they do stupid stuff like
it was
cut
pretty
each other's.
lame.
They were doing like jackass stuff. They'd film each other like cutting each other's guts out and stuff like that.
should we mention Saw?
Oh,
Dude, I love
that's
the
a
Saw movie.
psychological thriller.
No matter how many sequels they made, every time I watched one, I was like, "This is just enjoyable."
Melbourne
watch.
Boys too. Melbourne Boys made that.
Yeah,
Yes.
James Wan
Yeah.
and the guy that was on
The first
Rewind.
one was the best.
Hmm.
The first one was the best.
But as Mark said, if you go into a blockbuster, where would Saw be? It'd be in the horror section.
Yes.
Didn't there something? Was there a new movie called Jigsaw? I think I saw it as I was flicking through movies on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, I never saw any. I only saw up to like 3, I think.
Every time I watched one, it was always enjoyable. I never just. There was one with Chris Rock in it, wasn't there? I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I was about to mention that because I think it's not called Saw, but it's part of that storyline. Okay?
Maybe that's the Jigsaw one then, maybe?
I don't think it was Jigsaw either, but
Okay.
If somebody knows in the comment section, but yeah, it was Chris Rock. It's not just recent, but it was apparently linked to all the Jigsaw stuff, so I don't know what it is. That's it, Spiral.
Spiral.
Yeah.
Chris Rock made a new one.
Yeah, he written.
Wasn't he a cop in it or something?
Yeah, he's like the investigator. Yeah.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, me too. Now.
What about I don't know. It's kind of Saw related category. Final Destination.
Ah, yeah. Loved the first one.
The first one was very, very clever.
I saw the second one in 3D.
Oh.
Was that that was a truck one, right? With the log falls off the...
It's the one where they're like a NASCAR, I think it is.
Oh,
isn't it NASCAR? They're watching NASCAR racing, and then one of the bolts comes out.
Yeah.
So that was the best part of the movie, was when the bolt comes out of the car, because you're watching in the cinema with 3D glasses. The bolt goes clink, 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 and then right into your face.
I watched that. I got that on because I had the Samsung 3D TV when they brought out the 3D TVs. That's where I didn't watch it 3D in the cinemas. I watched it 3D at home.
My TV's in 3D. I wish I could still use it.
It's they did for 2 years.
3D is the best.
My Bloody Valentine. I watched that in 3D cinema.
What's that?
It's got Jensen Ackles in it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's the one with the guy with the bloody old time gas mask.
NASCAR was the Final Destination 3.
Okay, well that was the one I saw in 3D. Final Destination 3D.
Yeah,
I think every movie that was part 3 back in that era all came 3D. I saw Jackass 3D.
My Bloody Valentine. Yeah. So that was in the
Valentine one.
Yeah, it was 2009. It's in the mines, and there's a twist to it. As I said, Jensen Ackles in it, and it was 3D. It even says it when you Google it. It says My Bloody Valentine 3D.
The best 3D movie I ever saw was Harold and Kumar 3D.
Oh my god!
It was you know why? I'll tell you why.
This is a horror movie discussion.
I'll rant about this all day. Right? When you have a 3D, if you're going to make a movie 3D, make the movie so it's a 3D experience, right? So I went and watched Avatar, right? And that was a big deal. And I was like, this is crap. Like, you couldn't see it. Every now and then you saw some depth in the picture. Oh, good, big deal. And Howard and Kumar, they're throwing eggs at you and stuff, and they're all everything's coming out of the screen in Howard and Kumar. When you watch all these other movies, they just made it 3D. So there was a little bit of depth perception.
Dude, I watched Jackass 3D in the cinemas, and they told
I saw that. I saw that 3D,
and his dick was fucking flying.
I saw. Yeah, there's a bit where he shoots the arrow, and it's a dildo coming at your face.
Yeah. I agree, Simon, because I watched Clash of the Titans in 3D, and I might as well not have been wearing the glasses, to be honest.
Yeah. But if you're not wearing the glasses, you can't see. It's all blurry.
The first ever 3D movie I saw was actually, talking about horror, was Freddy 6.
Yes, Freddy was dead.
At 11:45, New Year's Eve.
Mate.
I was like 8 or 9 or something, and a friend's that when I used to live in Borwood, the friend who lived 2 doors up from us, his dad took us to see it at 1:45 midnight on New Year's Eve.
Oh, you saw it at the cinemas?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because I remember watching it with my brothers, right? And like we had the 3D glasses on VHS on a TV screen that was like this big. And it was crap.
We went into the city. I think this was before like your Jam Factory and Melbourne Central and all that sort of stuff was built, obviously. So I think it was like, might have been the one in Russell Street, like that dingy old one, but it was still an awesome experience.
This what film are you just talking about? Rental. It reminds me of what's that movie with Liv Tyler in it? Is it The Strangers or something? Where those weird people with the sack mask stalk their house? Ever seen that one?
Oh, The Purge.
No, it's not The Purge. I know The Purge, but there's one. Liv Tyler was in it, and like these like freaks just come stalk their house, and they're all wearing like sacks on their head.
Oh,
Kind of like
wasn't like Trick or Treat or something.
I think it was called The Strangers. I think.
Yeah, because that's a strangling one, isn't it?
Strangers.
Yeah.
The Strangers. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
New movie Nope was pretty creepy. You said you went and saw that, Simon.
I did. Yeah, you know what? I wasn't that. It was everything I didn't want it to be because it's not a spoiler. It's about UFOs, right? I just didn't like what they did with it. There was one part of the movie, it's like, oh, here we go. This is what I want the movie to be about. And it was almost like a psych out. And then towards the end, it just goes weird. And I'm like, not feeling this anymore. I wanted to like it really bad, but I just didn't like it.
Yeah, because I know they made. So what was that movie? Get Out was the same.
So
sort of,
I went back and watched that the other night, and that was.
I've never seen it. Everybody keeps talking about it, but I've never seen it.
I enjoyed that. And then he also made Us, I think it was called. So I haven't watched Us yet, but I did watch.
It's almost like a trilogy or something from the same main actor and the same director or something, I think.
You remember the Skeleton Key?
Yeah.
Kate Hudson?
Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't think I've seen it, but I remember. I've
heard of it, but
heard of it. I've seen the. I remember. I can visualize the cover.
Oh, what's that one also with Nicole Kidman? The Others?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I do remember that moment where she goes into the room and she goes, "You're mad. I am your daughter." That was creepy.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's
Nope
like that.
Nope is mate. No, everyone's saying Nope was good, Simon. I don't know.
Hey, mate, everyone was saying She-Hulk. Hey, everyone was also saying She-Hulk was good, Matt.
It is.
Don't even get me fucking started, all right? I'm so close to doing a fucking rant video on that one.
I was looking for it. I was like, where's this fucking rant video from Matt?
I was thinking about doing it today. I was going to record it today.
You leave Shulky alone.
Oh, fuck. No, listen, you know what?
We're talking about horror movies.
Oh, it was a fucking horror movie. It was a fucking horror script. It was an 80s blockbuster. It was like Jaws meets Close Encounter.
No, I get it. Like, no, it's like done very artsy, but I just didn't like what they did with the whole UFO thing. I just didn't like it. I wanted it to be about something else, and it wasn't. Didn't give me what I wanted.
One of the UFO ones that I watched that was scary. The other one wasn't UFO, but what was the one with
Christopher Walken?
No, with
Prophecy.
No, was it Signs with what's his name?
Oh yeah. That M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh,
Mel Gibson.
Yeah. All his later movies were just.
And then the other one that I watched that I liked was Rapture. Again, it's more of a thriller.
Signs. Fire. No, Sky. It was Fire in the Sky. You mean? Fire in the Sky was based on the true abduction story. But Signs, there was that one scene that was terrifying. Was when there was the news report. And you're watching the news, and there's the bit where the bloody alien walks across the screen, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
It
was well made.
It wasn't very scary at all, and it was pretty crap.
No, I didn't mind. I didn't like the end, but again,
his early, M. Night's early movies were good.
Swing away, Jackie. Swing away.
I watched Split last night, which is M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, that's good.
So now
I've only seen Unbreakable. I haven't seen.
I want to watch the third one. So I've been wanting to watch Split for a while. So I finally saw it last night. So now I can watch Glass.
Is there a third one?
Yeah, Glass
is both three characters.
It all comes together.
Because in that one they join together. Yeah, because at the end of Split, he approaches him, doesn't he?
Bruce Willis. How good would it be if Bruce Lee was in it?
His last one where he falls in the pool and he's very...
Yeah, because that's his kryptonite with water.
Yeah.
That was Glass, was it?
No, because that's his weakness.
Unbreakable is the first one, which is Bruce Willis. And the second one is Split.
Now, man.
But you wouldn't know Split was related up until that end, really.
Oh, Glass. What? I don't think I've seen it. When did that come out? 2009.
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it's not even 2 years old, I don't think.
Yeah, so I want to watch
that.
Would
have been pre-COVID, but not that. Like maybe a year before COVID started.
Hereditary was scary.
What about have you ever seen People Under the Stairs?
I haven't seen that one. Is Michael Keaton in that?
That is like. It's It's more of a thriller sort of thing. But that I saw that in the movies, and that scared the absolute crap out of me. Like, it's not really one of those gore ones. It's more of those, like there's all these like kids and stuff, and literally people under the stairs, and obviously the neighbors go, "Oh, what's all that noise?" and they go to investigate, and that's how it all sort of starts. And
what is it? What are under the stairs?
People, but it's people that have been there for like a long time, so they all like obviously they have like the real green sort of faces and stuff because of like lack of sunlight and things like that. And that's definitely a good one to watch.
I just remembered Bones.
It was a Wes Craven movie.
Okay.
Bones was the Snoop one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, Bones, yes, I do remember that now. I think I might have that on.
And then because I was just trying to figure out the name of this one that I remember seeing. I don't know if it's a horror. Brightburn.
Brightburn, yeah.
Oh, that's the one about the Superman. The Superman.
Yeah, the
Superman went bad. I still haven't seen that.
Haven't you seen that, Brightburn?
No, I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, watch that. That's
you used to watch not Hellblazer, Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser. Pinhead.
I didn't
one
like
of the best villains ever.
I didn't enjoy the first one. So never watched the rest of them.
Even though they they never actually called him Pinhead. It was just it was a nickname that everybody came up with.
But just putting two together, he's got 1,000 pins coming out of his head. Pinhead.
But another cult classic.
A few of them were really like whack. They were out of control. It's just like, what am I actually watching? I mean, like
that's Clive Barker for you.
Yeah.
Clive Barker's mind is just fucked.
Yeah, it's
very clever.
But it was well. Some of them were well done.
Yeah, no, definitely. Some of the later ones got stupid and low budget.
You know what classic no one's mentioned yet? Candyman.
Oh yes, very good.
Where's a mirror?
Did you guys ever do it, or did you ever actually when you were young? No, but did you ever do the Bloody Mary one where you say Bloody Mary? You done them? I never done them. I still
like
do it.
11 and 12, and you'd have like all your friends over. Yeah, hell yeah.
You've done the Bloody Mary.
We pranked someone once because we got them to do it, and we had someone on the outside window of the bathroom. So she said they started banging on the window.
Oh god! I need a new clean pair of shorts.
Yeah, but like Candyman, the original one with Tony Todd, like that guy's just a scary looking dude, regardless. And that the voice is just so deep, it just fits it perfectly.
And I really liked the second one where they dived into a bit more of his origin story and stuff like that.
Yeah, how he actually became Candyman. Yeah, no, that
really
was
cool.
Quite good. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like a lot of horror movies, they don't necessarily do an origin. They might go, like have kids around, like obviously teenagers in a room going, oh, have you heard about, this monster or whatever? This is how it happened. But you never actually see what actually sort of happened.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I thought it was great.
My sister did all that shit. The Ouija boards. Did any of you ever do a Ouija board?
Yeah.
No, that would freak me out hard if I did that.
I remember doing it with the girls at school were doing it. Because when whatchamacall came out at Witchcraft.
The Craft?
Yeah, the Craft.
Oh, the Craft. Yeah,
the
with
Craft
Neve Campbell in it. Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden the girls at school went from being, girls to, witches.
Goth babes.
Yeah, look at the click of a finger, though.
Simon's favourite.
And they did that stiff as a board, light as a feather to lift up people. Doing that at school. Yeah, I was doing all that at school. And I remember they did the Ouija board. And I was asking questions, and I was getting them right. And I'm thinking, fuck, you know what? These girls know these fucking answers. They know these questions I'm asking. So I was like, I remember doing, like, they don't know my sister's middle name. And I said my sister's middle name. And I don't know if it's just because when you're touching it, you tend to put it there yourself. But
yeah, you do. Your favorite.
Yeah, it's spelled out my sister's name, and I fucking freaked out. So I was like, no fucking way would any of them known that. But again, I just think it's more, I don't know, because the energy on your finger, I don't know if it's legit or what, but it did spell out my sister's middle name, and I was like, fuck that. Never doing that. My uncle, he's hard into that stuff. He was doing them at cemeteries. He'd go to cemeteries and do them and try to talk to the dead. And I was like, you're fucked. I can't go to a cemetery
30 days a night was I actually got advanced passes to go and see that at the movie, and I'm like, I think it was this 30 Days of Night crap or whatever like that. And yeah, that was pretty full on too.
That must be good from memory. I can't remember the movie like too much. I remember seeing
Josh
it.
Yeah,
Josh
because it was based
Hartnett?
in Canada, where they were pretty much
Josh
they
Hartnett.
only get like a week every month or something of daylight or whatever like that.
Wait,
And they had to
Canada?
literally last.
Was it Canada?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
You
some
get
like
30 nights of no light, 30
yeah,
days.
no light.
No light.
And then they only get like 10 days of day or something like that. So they had to last that long with these
it's only a certain part though, right? Like
yeah.
okay.
Although
is that on
when I
YouTube?
was living in Vancouver, there's in the winter, I reckon 6 hours tops sunlight. That's all you get.
Well, 30 Days was actually based on a graphic novel. I can't remember who did it. It might have been Ben Templesmith or something like that. Might have done it, but it was actually based on a thing. Yeah, Alaska. Okay, I knew it was like Canada or Alaska, up that sort of area.
He's back. He's got back rooms. So is that a YouTube? Did someone make that on YouTube? Did they? Might have to check that out. I like YouTube indie making stuff. There was one that Arnie done. He done a couple. End of Days. Oh, that's not really a horror.
He did Maggie.
Maggie was
Maggie,
Maggie
yeah.
a horror?
End of Days was sort of horror because it was like, it was all based on sort of, devilly worship sort of stuff. And,
Okay, well, where do you draw the line for? Okay, let's say we put slashes into the horror category, right? So why do movies like Aliens and Predator count as sci-fi? Predator is pretty much a slasher film with a monster in it, but we classify it as sci-fi. Why? I just want to talk about Predator. Have you seen Prey yet?
Yes, indeed.
Fill me in. I haven't seen it yet. Where's Prey situated in this timeline?
It's prequel.
1600s. It's like
it's prequel, 16 or 1700s.
It's the first Predator to ever come to Earth. I think it's meant to be.
It literally gives you the year. So at the start,
yeah, it does. Like right at the start of the
16.
movie. Because when the French colonials first come over to the States,
You haven't
sort of
seen
thing,
it?
even though that's not really
No,
part.
I haven't seen it. So it's the first. It's like before
It's really
all of them.
good.
So what you're doing
The
tonight.
first Predator.
Yeah,
Well,
we just figured out what you're doing tonight.
I've got my mate's Bucks tonight, mate. I'm gonna be drunk
You
tonight.
know what they're doing at the Bucks? They're watching Prey.
Oh well, if it's boring, I might have to.
but you know what I mean?
Get off my lap. I'm watching Prey.
But you know, how come Aliens and Predator and things fall into that sci-fi category and not horror?
Because it's from outer space.
But then you would count. Okay,
Predator's based here though, so it's sort of.
Where do you count?
I guess
all
you
the
got
alien
action
films?
horror. You got sci-fi horror. Maybe
I guess not sci-fi horror. I guess.
Yeah,
So
that's
that Event Horizon. That was a sci-fi horror.
I tell you what, and I don't think many people agree with me, but I really love that movie.
I didn't mind it.
It was alright. It was alright.
I got it on DVD for like $3. It's paid for itself.
Paid for itself in spades.
Who's your favorite female actress within the horror? You Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. Who was your favorite? Main role? Because it's always.
I'd have to go. Probably Simon's going to go the same, but Nev Campbell.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was trying to think of people, and she just kept popping into my head. I was like, "Well, yeah."
I couldn't get.
Nev Campbell.
Iconic. It's got to be Jamie Lee Curtis because she's still doing it now, right?
It's still the main iconic because most females in most horrors get killed off.
Yeah. So,
but
I like the chick from Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she was good.
A New Nightmare.
I just remember Carrie.
That was
Carrie.
Sissy Spacek.
Who played that?
Sissy Spacek.
Oh, that was the prom one. That was good. That one.
Yeah. So if we counted Aliens or Predator, obviously I'd put Sigourney Weaver, but yeah.
Well, if you count Aliens and Predators, yes. If that Natasha Hensbridge,
Species, I remember.
Then I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going Natasha if that's the case.
But she's not. She can't be the Scream Queen. She's the monster.
Yeah.
But the jacuzzi scene in the first one.
Many scenes in that first one. I'm pretty sure that VHS tape got to that point where the lines were starting to run through it because it got rewound so many times.
It was just the one area.
No, she was Spaces. There was 3 of them, I think. 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think I only saw the first 2, I think.
So the second one was the dude, wasn't it?
She wasn't in the third one, was she?
Oh, is it the
Nah.
third one that's the dude?
Oh, okay. I didn't. Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
so I never saw the third one.
Hmm.
Is Constantine a horror with Keanu?
Maybe not.
I suppose you could classify it as a horror.
Actually, what's her name in this? I've got to check this. Oh no, Wrong Turn. What? Not Wrong Turn.
That
There
was a
one-
good movie. Wrong
That one?
Turn was amazing.
Yeah, it's Alicia Duskus, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah, Elijah Dosh.
Eliza, yeah, Faith from Buffy.
Faith, yeah.
Hmm.
Eliza
Yeah, is
Dushku.
she in Wrong Turn?
Wrong
Yes.
Turn was amazing. Oh my god, I feel like I need to watch that. Oh, what's the other one? What's the Descent? That was a good one too.
Oh,
Mhm.
the
Seen
Descent. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was killer.
Which one was Descent?
Descent. All the girls, like a group of girls, going to like a cave, and there's
Oh,
like this.
yep.
But yeah, I remember Wrong Turn being really good and Descent being amazing as well.
Did you ever watch Cabin in the Woods?
They mentioned Jeepers
Yeah.
Creepers.
Oh, wait, Cabin in the I get it. No, Cabin in the Woods was weird. That's the one at the end where they're making monsters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed it up until that part. I was like, what's going on? What a good one was Cabin Fever was a good one by
Yeah.
Cabin
Eli
Fever,
Roth.
Was that when they got the illness? The
Yeah, the skin one.
Yeah.
And then there's that bit
Yeah.
where he goes and puts his hand down her pants. And then, and then like, yeah. That was a great movie.
One
Because that
that's
was funny. That had like humor as well as horror. Like I like that sort of mixture.
Mm.
It's like it's
Well,
normally
Right,
pretty
what
funny.
about shark movies? Like, would you
Sharknado.
classify them like obviously like Jaws and stuff like that? Would you classify them as
massive.
horror?
No, actually, Sharknado. Don't worry about it now. Sharknado's number one.
That's a
baby.
comedy.
Shut up, Sharknado. Yeah, would you classify them like Jaws, Deep Blue Sea? Yeah, like obviously Lake
Is
Placid
Deep
was
Blue Sea where they
as
get
an
stranded?
alligator,
They're
but
just sitting on the. They just sitting on the water raft. Is that Deep Blue Sea?
No, Deep Blue
Deep
Sea
Blue
aren't
Sea
they
is
in
the
a
one where
boat?
they've got the research thing in the middle of the sea, and they're actually
Is it Thomas
genetically
Jane?
engineering smart sharks.
Is that Thomas
LL
Jane?
Cool
in that?
J's in it, Thomas Jane's in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, what's
that
that
the
one
one
where their boat crashes and they just the whole movie's just them sitting at the fucking sea on one of those little life rafts. I can't remember what it was
Oh,
called.
that was
The Deep? No,
Right.
it wasn't the Deep.
Life of Pi.
it was like
Nah, I can't remember
47 below or something like. I can't remember. It was. I know the one you're talking about.
I gotta search it. It wasn't any main. It wasn't any big characters or anything.
How about
No.
And if you go on that with Anaconda, does that?
Ice
Oh,
Cube?
with Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube.
Any of you seen Don't Breathe?
Oh wait, is that the one with the blind guy?
Yeah,
That's
No,
that was
I
good.
haven't seen.
I
That.
enjoyed
it's
that.
really good.
Yeah.
Have
They
you
got it
ever
wrong.
seen that
Yep.
the Keenan guy? Us.
Yeah, so that was what we were talking about before. So he did Nope and he did Get Out. And so Us is the
Yeah,
other
he
one,
did-
but I haven't seen
Us
that
was
one.
the one in the middle or whatever. Yeah.
It's I think it was the one before Nope. So
Yeah, in the
In
Mouth
the
of
Mouth
Madness.
of-
That's an old school deep cut. That is.
And yeah, Underwater with Christian Stewart. I haven't seen that. Is that a horror ocean? My favorite was which one was the crocodile? Lake Placid. Was that Lake Placid?
Lake
with the crocodile?
Placid. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like feeding it goats and shit and all that sort of crap. And
wasn't there like a movie from back in the 80s, like based on a giant crocodile? Was it called Alligator? Or like I remember the very first one, like they flushed like a little baby alligator down the toilet or something like that. It grows up in the sewers to be this giant fucker and starts killing people. Anyone remember that one?
I think that's just the story. Isn't that just the story in New York?
I'm interested.
But I think that was like a big sort of chain of movies as well back in the 80s.
What was it? Say it again.
I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember if it was called Alligator or Crocodile or something. And they flush this little baby alligator down the toilet and it grows up in the sewers to be this giant motherfucker and just kills everyone.
That's Killer Croc, but no, I know. I remember one. I remember seeing. Was it an alligator though? I thought it was like a. I think I
Norrin, mate. Norrin Rad. He's seen everything. He's like the
dude. Nah,
encyclopedia.
yeah,
He's seen everything.
That's the one that drew. That's this.
I've
got it right here.
Okay, there you go. Now we know.
Mm.
I did.
First
I
guy
showed
to
off
ever bring art to my show of himself.
on Simon's channel. If you go look at his last show and tell, Santi,
my mate loved it. A mate from work watched it. He was like, "Mate, that thing that Matt the drawing was awesome."
I did that on show and tell. Alligator in New York. There you go.
So it's that simple of the title.
It sort of reminds me too, like when Simon was mentioning Scream. Obviously, you had I Know What You Did Last Summer as well. But does anybody ever remember Urban Legends?
Yes.
That was around the same time.
Yes.
Joshua Jackson.
Yes.
Rebecca.
And there was also
Rebecca,
there was another one with Joshua Jackson and Katie Holmes.
Skulls?
The Gift.
No, not the Skulls. It was
The Gift? No, not The Gift.
Disturbing
what was it
behavior.
called?
Disturbing behavior.
Disturbing Behavior. That's the one.
Oh, that was prime Katie Holmes in that.
That was Katie. Yeah, that was after
That's James Marsden as well, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
James
that's right.
Marsden.
Yeah.
And then there was that really crap one, Faculty. The Faculty.
Yeah.
I hated that movie. It was not
Oh,
good.
really?
I didn't like it. Some things are just too silly sometimes when you get the big reveal and it's just like, what? That's kind of like Nope. The big reveal. I was like, nope.
There was another
That's
one.
right. It was the girl the whole time, wasn't it?
Something like that.
What's that
Yeah.
one?
The cheerleading girl.
What's the one where he's Jack Nicholson and he punches through the door? He's
Shining.
Shining.
Shining. Well, that's a classic.
Mm.
Absolute classic.
And you know what another classic is we haven't even said? If it's not horror, Hannibal. Or what's you call it? What's it called?
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the
Silence
Lambs.
of the Lambs,
I haven't seen
Hannibal,
Silence of the
Red
Lambs.
Dragon.
Have you not seen Silence of the Lambs?
I've seen
dude?
Hannibal, but I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs.
Dude.
Yeah, I should.
You need context if you're going to be watching Hannibal or Red Dragon or that sort of thing. You need to watch Silence of the Lambs first.
Silence of the Lambs is probably the best out of the three of those.
Mm.
And Hannibal was easily the worst.
I've seen scenes from it. I've just never sat down and watched it from start to finish.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Midsummer's another one I want to watch. So Midsummer, I think there's the same person who made Hereditary. So I think Midsummer I'm going to watch next.
Yep. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah, so I never saw Hannibal Rising.
Oh, the
that
TV
was-
show.
That was done a lot later, of course. But
Was that was the last one that they done, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
They had the dude who's the villain in the first 007 of Daniel Craig, whatever his name is. He's Hannibal.
But wasn't the first Hannibal movie was it Manhunter or something like that? Simon, help me out. The very first, it was before Silence of the Lambs, and it wasn't who plays him, Anthony Hopkins.
There was a movie called Manhunter because I remember the cover because there was a dude that was all tattooed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
But
based.
I never saw it though.
I'm pretty sure that is the first Hannibal movie from memory. I used to be a film.
The trilogy that they did
years ago.
was Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and then Red Dragon. But there has been other iterations. I think, like as you said, there was Hannibal Rising that came later. I think Manhunter might have been part of that sort of storyline, but not 100% sure.
So Manhunter, 1986 was it? Is this the one? Dr. Lecter? Is that?
Yeah, well, that's him. That's him. Yeah, Hannibal Lecter.
Film buff 20 years ago.
There's another one I can't remember. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, it shows
And,
how he became Hannibal, was child, and forced to eat his little sister.
Jesus.
I watched like the first 3 episodes. It wasn't bad. But
Yeah, I never saw any of the Hannibal the series because that had Mads Mikkelsen in it, didn't it?
So who's the guy who's the bad guy in the first Doctor Strange? Yeah, whoever that actor is.
Yeah, that's Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah,
It has
he
him.
was also in that awesome Netflix movie Polar.
Yes,
He was trying to retire hitman sort of thing.
Really good actor.
Mm.
And then House of Wax was the one I was thinking
No,
of.
I'm not bloody Paris Hilton. Come on.
Yeah, but that's actually an old 80s.
The original one.
Paris Hilton wasn't in it. This is an old one where they made it.
the original.
The old one's the original.
Well, they did a House of Wax in the 60s. They did
Yeah, that's
one
what
in
I'm
the 60s. They did one in the 80s.
So that's
I think.
what I was
and then
thinking.
the Paris
I
Hilton
don't
one.
know. I'm just like Paris Hilton wasn't in it. Fuck no. I wouldn't have liked if Paris Hilton was in it.
Yeah, there was one in the 60s and
But
I
she
think
dies.
one in the 80s.
I'd be thinking of the 80s one. It wouldn't be the 60s one.
Yeah. Paris Hilton dies very terribly in it, so you might like it.
Mate,
That's hot.
there's only one video I liked Paris Hilton in, to be honest. And this, right next to House of Wax was Tremors. Did anyone was that a horror?
Tremors.
Yeah, that had Kevin Bacon in it.
Yeah, it had like
Yeah,
really
he
weird
cried.
monsters.
He cried when he got the part because he thought his career was over.
Yeah, it was
No.
pretty much just a big tunneling earthworm that kept eating people.
There's like 7 of them, isn't there? 7
Yeah, some ridiculous.
Just keep bringing them out.
I think Kevin Bacon was only in the first 1 or 2, maybe.
I think he came back for one of them, but yeah, he's. Yeah, I think I watched the first 5, which is quite surprising. I got that
He
far.
did well. He did well.
One of my mates is right into it. He goes, it's Tremors night. We've got to watch Tremors. So,
Do you remember Critters from the 80s? Critters?
Yeah, that was around the same time. Like they did Critters, they did Ghoulies, Tremors, Leprechaun. I think they did a Santa one as well.
Yes, it was Silent Night, I think it was called.
Silent Night, that's correct. Yeah, that's the one.
Has any? Because I'm just flicking through it. The Invisible Man. Has anyone seen that yet?
I've seen the original black and white one, but not any of the other ones.
Because that's what they've got. They've got like sci-fi horror, slasher horror, horror ghost. So there are obviously subcategories.
Yeah.
So, because to be honest, Stranger Things fucking last season would be in horror. That was fucking.
I think it was getting there, yeah.
It was
No way kids can
borderline.
watch that.
Yeah. Well, my mate, she was watching with her freaking 8-year-old, and they last season not watching last season. And my missus was freaking out when they fucking snapped.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, they got pretty dark on that last season.
Yeah, full
I
on.
liked it. Loved it.
I think we've covered freaking nearly every horror movie there is
in the history of cinema.
Yeah, just about.
What's the most latest one to come out?
The most
Nope.
latest one? Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Oh, I think we got the new Halloween coming out, obviously this Halloween. So,
Actually, did I know we mentioned Candyman? Did anybody see the new remake of it?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, so
No,
I don't know whether it's any good or not.
No, I didn't like it. I loved the original Candyman. The second one wasn't as good as well when they not redid it, but the second Candyman back in the days. But Candyman, I used to Candyman and Freddy. Candyman and Freddy. Actually, look, just got this out. See, oh, man,
what about the Freddy remake, where they made him a pedo?
Oh, that one.
I never saw the remake. The newest of the remakes,
played by Rorschach.
Rorschach, yeah.
So we got all the pictures here. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's number 5.
So which one was the one? They're in the mental institution, because that one I like the best. Is that number 3?
I think is that the one where there's a bit where he's like controlling her? Yeah, that was the first one I ever saw.
That's number 3.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's the one I like.
And that's the thing. Like probably from number 4 onwards. Number 4 was Dream Warriors. And from number 4 onwards, that's when it started becoming a bit more comedy based.
I think I never saw
horror.
number 5. Yeah, I don't think I saw
number
number 5.
I've got them here. 1, 2.
Because in the third one, they started to figure out that they can have like a superpower in their dreams and they can fight back.
Superpower. In which one?
I think Freddy started becoming a bit more sort of like, he was like laughing as he was doing stuff, not really scaring. Like once the 4th one onwards, it started becoming sort of half horror, half comedy almost. Whereas the original, I'd say the original 2 were probably the scariest.
Yeah, look at this. There we go. So that's 1.
Yep.
Classic cover.
And then 2.
Oh, classic cover as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and then 3 was, I'm guessing, the one that you were talking about, Mark.
Yep.
It was the first time I saw it.
And then that's Dream Warriors, yeah.
And then 5.
What the hell?
I can't remember that. I'm thinking, what the fuck?
I remember that. I remember that.
I can't remember that scene. And then
Freddy's dead.
Freddy's dead. Was that the 6th one?
That was the one that I saw at the
The
movie.
3D.
So at the end was in 3D.
New
That's a
Nightmare,
cool
that's the
cover.
one.
And then that's the last one.
New Nightmare, yeah.
Because I got them all. I think I did this in your show and tell. Got the box set.
Awesome.
I remember when that came out.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
They should have done a collector's edition where you get the glove and
Yeah.
I actually had the American collector's edition because it came with like all these booklets and stuff and things like that. But
it's got all booklets and information about every film.
and as a lot of people forget, Johnny Depp was in the first one, and that was his first movie that he ever
wasn't
did.
he in the 6th one as well?
No,
He wasn't in Freddy's Dead as well. I'm pretty sure he was. I have a weird feeling he was in Freddy's Dead as well.
no, I don't think he was.
I just have this weird memory of that. I don't know if it's true, but
I don't think he was.
I'll have to let you know because I'm gonna introduce the partner to all of these.
Yeah, I want to show Sarah Nightmare on Elm Street as well because
I'm gonna start watching them from start to finish. But yeah, fucking. I don't know how it'll hold up now. But
the phone.
You know what I love about horror movies now, though, when you watch them now, when you're a kid, you pick up on all the cheesy kind of lines now. Like,
there's plenty of them.
Freddy.
Like, I remember Evil Dead. I used to be scared of the shit of the first Evil Dead, and I remember showing friends, and they were like laughing the whole time at it. They're like, "This is so funny," and I was like, "I'm scared."
You must have long hands there, Simon.
Has a third hand.
Yeah, well, we'll wrap it off. If there's one horror movie you got to recommend to everyone, what are you going to recommend? We'll start with you, Spidey.
It's hard to pass the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone's seen those. Give us something. Give us think of your younger days, something that people may not have seen.
Oh. Come back to me. Let me see.
Simon?
I'm going to go with Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah,
Beck's favorite movie.
I'm going to go with...
I just got the ablest of locks right then.
I'm going to go with a movie that I didn't bring up, actually. So I'm going to go with a movie that has Bruce Campbell in it, Maniac Cop.
Oh,
was he in that, was he?
He's in the first one.
I don't remember it.
I haven't seen that one.
I remember seeing the VHS tapes all the time. Being like, "Oh, this looks scary as."
Yeah, the first one was good. The second one was, yeah. Bruce Campbell's in the first one because he's the one that gets. They think it's him that's the killer, but they didn't realize it's a guy in a cop suit, a dead guy in a cop suit.
You thought of one, Spidey? Or you give up?
For some reason, Vampire in Brooklyn has jumped into my head.
Vampire in Brooklyn, isn't that Eddie?
That's
Murphy?
the Eddie Murphy one.
What the hell?
There you go, Morbius. There's a
That's a scary one.
No, I just remember it being hilarious because Kadeem Hardison is like he's ghoul or familiar or whatever like that, and he's just like always like his eyes popping out, and he's always like picking it up and bloody putting it back in, and it was just hilarious. It had some good like directing sort of like horror elements to it, but obviously it was done more as a horror / comedy, but something a little bit offbeat.
Nice. Well, guys, everyone, thanks, guys, for coming. Everyone, thank you for kicking it with us and talking horror films. Always good to do. Be sure to subscribe to MadSpidey. Be sure to subscribe to Simple Simon. Be sure to subscribe to AussieVerse. The links are all in the comment in the description bar.
So what's the next genre we were going to talk about next time we do this?
The next one, I've got it already. It's going to be a really easy one. It's going to be film record, like just in every genre, a film that must be watched, must-watched films, must watch.
I feel like we need to prepare for it. We should have like at least like a 5 movies each or something like that.
There you go. 5 movies each. Then we'll do that. 5 movies, must-watch films. And we'll see if any of us have actually seen them. But yeah, just films for everyone. But yeah, must
We
watch.
all named films that were like, what? What is never heard of it?
Oh, so we need to do like, we're not doing romantic or that sort of
Whatever.
crap.
Fucking oath, I'm gonna have Notebook number 1.
No, I'm not. I won't be in that stream then.
Dude, that is I've got it. You want me to go grab it for you? I've got the collector's edition. That is a
we have to do action.
You're laughing, Simon. I'm being serious.
I didn't like that movie. I
Action.
got forced to watch it and I didn't enjoy it.
I suppose. Could we do thriller, because we've mentioned a lot of thrillers?
All genres, just 5 must.
5 movies that you
No,
recommend.
I'm talking about
Spidey.
future ones, not like the next one.
Oh,
I'd
future
love,
ones, yeah.
I'd love to do one on like foreign films and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll
You're thinking too far ahead. You're thinking too far ahead, Spidey.
I'm always
Whatever you guys
10 steps
One
ahead.
show at a time.
Whatever you want
That's
to
going to
do,
be cancelled by the time we get there.
probably. Insane. And can you still vote, or the voting's done and dusted? We got to wait for the winners now.
No,
like
this is,
so now,
you've got to vote for the nominations now.
Okay,
So the
guys,
5 people in
vote.
each category.
Go and vote for these 2, and go and protest in the middle of city, whatever city you are, and say AussieVerse and Talking Pop Culture should have got nominations for things too. So protest everywhere, make a big scene about it. But yeah, go and vote these guys, please. I know I voted originally for them in the categories that they got nominated for, and I'll make sure I'll make about 10 burner accounts and vote for them so they win. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate it. We'll see you all soon.
please.
Deals.